Hi everyone, Ron Crider reporting for duty today. It is Wednesday, October the 21st. I usually say I have the numbers for you, but I don't have the numbers for you. I'll tell you about that in just a minute. This is my day 219 and 13 days until the election. That's pretty interesting. Craziness on TV. Almost impossible to watch. 65 days until Christmas, 71 days left in this year, and our time changes on November the 1st. So the big deal today is that the state of Florida did not release any numbers today, so I have no numbers to report to you. The reason, apparently Palm Beach County came up with somewhere between 50 and 95 deaths in a single day, which would have been the most number that had ever been reported since they even started this whole thing. And that's very suspect. And now they're going to look into some of these deaths because sometimes deaths are being reported as much as a month or two after they had taken place. It would seem to me like death is a pretty final thing. Usually there's a death certificate created immediately upon somebody's death, and that there should be no concern here as to how these things are getting reported so late. It's very strange. Anyway, there are no numbers to report today, so we don't have a whole lot to talk about. So I will get with you tomorrow and we'll talk some more about what's going on, but hopefully they will come up with something between now and then. In the meantime, the beat still goes on about wearing masks, opening and locking down things in schools and airplanes and restaurants. And I'm not going to take a lot of time and talk about it because I do it every day. And the thing about it is there is no cure. There's no vaccine. Nothing has changed since this started. The only thing that has changed, basically, is that we do know a whole lot more about it, but we don't really know exactly how to get it, make it better. A lot of the cases are quite mild. Some of the cases are very serious. Older people tend to die from it. But bottom line is nothing's changed. Not one thing has changed. So, bottom line again is you have to distance space. You have to wear your mask. If you don't believe in it, don't do it, and then we'll see what happens. A lot of people who didn't do it and thought that it was all a bunch of hooey have passed away. And then their dying bed said, what a bad idea that was. But that's not going to impress you. If you choose to not want to do it, you're not going to do it. And the worst part about all of that is that you hurt yourself and quite possibly you will be hurting other people. I'm going to tell you a few things about what's going on around here. Beachland Elementary School, if you're driving by there over here on the beach, that's on Beachland Boulevard, and it is between about 8 o'clock in the morning and 9:30. That's a school zone. The lights are flashing. It says school zone, and you're going over 20 miles an hour. You are going to get pulled over. Every day I go through there on my way over to the hospital for my little radiation treatment, and every day 1 or 2 police cars are there pulling people over. These are not police cars with lights and sirens on them. They're cars with no markings on them, but they're pulling you over. They mean business about that 20 miles an hour in that school zone. So I strongly urge you, don't go over 20 miles an hour in that school zone. So in case you wonder where that is, it's on Beachland Boulevard. It's on the east side of the bridge if you're going east. And if you're going west, it's still on the east side of the bridge, but it's just right past the bridge and a little bit past Pac Mail if you're going west. The other thing is the speed limit on A1A going north from Beachland to Indian River Shores, to the Indian River Shores Community Center, that is 35 miles an hour as well now because of the construction. Be very careful about that when you go in there. Please, it's not easy to drive through there, and when there are workmen there, the police are out and they are going to arrest you because it's dangerous for the people who are working there. Somebody asked me the other day where to get their oil changed and things like that. I have been getting my oil changed for like 15 years at the Firestone store on Miracle Mile. I get batteries for my cars, and it does not void the warranty. As long as you keep your maintenance schedule up in your car, you're in good shape. I have taken all my cars in there, from Mercedes to Kias and GMCs and all kinds of vehicles, and they've taken good care of me. I say this only because this morning when I looked at my car, it said check your tire. You have a tire pressure issue. So after I went to the hospital, I went over there and had them check because they take care of my car for me. They didn't charge me anything to do it. It was raining like crazy. There was this really nice young black guy who came out and checked the pressure and took care of the problem that I had. And since they didn't charge anything, I wanted to give the guy some money, so I handed him a $5 bill. He looked at me and said, no, can't take it. I cannot take it. This is a kid who was like probably under 25 years old. Very, very nice, respect. I said, you've been standing out in the rain. You're all wet, for heaven's sakes. Let me give you $5, a little tip. He says, no, sir, I can't take it. Don't take money from the Marines. No way. I did have my Marine hat on. Anyway, that's the kind of service that you get over at the Firestone store. This is not a commercial for the Firestone store. Several people ask me where to get their oil changed. I'm suggesting you go there. We have good car dealers here in town as well. Tend to be a little bit less expensive, and they do a really nice job over at Firestone. So anyway, that's my thought for today. The only other thing I'm going to say, don't forget to push the like button. There's nothing to like because there's no numbers, so I can't tell you too much about that today. Don't forget to get a flu shot. The other thing is, I wanted to mention this. This is pretty cool. The word Google, you like the Google, the search engine? Well, they control about 90% of the searching that's going on the internet worldwide. It's just, the numbers are mind-boggling, but that's exactly what Google is. It stands for a word that means almost infinitesimal, like the largest number you can possibly think of. The word is not Google. The Larry Page, those guys who put this thing together, apparently screwed up the word because it is G-U-G. I can't tell you exactly how it's spelled, but anyway, he misspelled it, and he found Google.com and said, that sounds good, let's go with that, and that's what he ended up using. But it is a real word. It is a mathematical term for some number that is so big it's almost an unimaginable number. And quite frankly, that's what Google is. I'm not referring to the company now. I'm referring to the number of searches that they perform on a daily basis. So yes, Google does mean something. Google is not just some made-up word. It is kind of a made-up word when you get right down to it, but it does stand for an infinitesimal number, meaning the number of searches that they're doing on a regular basis. Also, you might want to think about this if you're a big proponent of breaking up big business. They start breaking up Google because they have so many parts to it. The parts are probably worth a lot more than the actual whole company itself. And if they start breaking it up, you can imagine they'll probably start charging you to search. They'll come up with ways to solve this. You can be sure. These people are very smart people. They've done a marvelous job of creating something, and now we're going to try to figure out how we can tear it apart. I'm all for big business. I like big business. I think big business needs some form of control and some rules and regulations. I don't get my news from Google or Facebook or from Twitter. I don't do that. So I'm not concerned about that aspect of it, although I think it is wrong if they do try to control things like that. Anyway, that's my opinion as of today. So this is a very short video today because no numbers to report. The program is called Numbers. If you don't have numbers, you can't report numbers. So I will always try to do one of these anyway just to let you know what's going on. So I hope you have a very, very blessed Wednesday. I look forward to seeing you back here on Thursday. Always be a part of the solution and never part of the problem. See you again tomorrow on Thursday. Have a great night.